But we are going to begin at 4 with breaking news. A police chase ended with a crash on the 16th Street Mall. It happened just before 2 this afternoon. Commerce City police tell us they were chasing a car that had someone inside, a suspect connected to an attempted murder. They say the driver got away and they stopped the chase before the car crashed into an RTD bus at 16th and Champa. No one on the bus was hurt. The driver and the car, the person was riding, they were both taken to the hospital. And we're obviously going to keep an eye on this and bring anything new that comes up during the hours. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff.
And I'm Kim Christensen. We know that's a really busy area of downtown. It's incredible. No bystanders were hurt.
I was standing right over there by sports fans when it happened. I heard a loud bang right there by the alleyway. As soon as the bang happened, yeah, I mean, everyone came out of Modern Market, the sports fan store. People came out from everywhere to see what was going on. It was just a normal day, though.
So both the people who were in the car are facing charges. Denver police say the intersection at 16th and Champa is closed right now for the investigation.
All right, we're going to take a live look at Loveland Pass, where it's looking like a chance of rain, those ominous clouds that we haven't seen for a couple weeks. Chief Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is here now for a look at the forecast. So we're in like the hottest week of the year, right?
Well, I think last week was probably the warmest week leading up to that 100-degree reading yesterday. We're actually cooler today, guys. We had a weak front that came in from the north. We've held in the upper 80s today, and I think we're going to get a little break from the real heat until next weekend because the high pressure ridge is starting to shift, and that's going to bring that beneficial moisture we've been advertising finally over the Continental Divide into Denver. So we are enjoying a cooler day today. Temperature now just bumped up to 92, but we've been hovering around 89 today. But that's a big improvement over yesterday's triple-digit high. We don't have great air quality. There's a little smoke and haze out there. That front that came in brought a wind shift that allowed for smoke and haze from the Aspen Acres fire to drift north into Denver. We'll have about 24 hours of this bad air, and then we should see some improvement. The air quality alert has scaled back to a small area near Pueblo, but I think will grow again to include more areas because of the wind shift and the air quality with that smoke and haze. So winds are out of the east and southeast to about 15 and 20 miles per hour, and slow moving storms creating some issues in San Miguel County and also in Montrose County. We have heavy rain. These storms are dropping 2 to 4 inches of rain in less than an hour's time. We're hopeful tonight some of that moisture is going to move across the Front Range. Best areas to see rain tonight would be Fort Collins and Greeley. Too much of a good thing out across the western slope with a flash flood watch in effect. We're going to cover that radar and that rain forecast in detail in just a bit.
Okay, and while we've been dealing with that scorching heat, as Kathy said, in this week leading up to yesterday, many people in Platville have had to endure it without air conditioning.
Brutal. Several XL customers living there say their power has been going in and out. Curtis Moore, for instance, runs a business out of his basement sorting and selling Legos. Lately, they say he had to work around the power outages. He says last summer it happened 2 or 3 times a month. This summer, he says it's already starting to happen again. He says the outages are sporadic with no warning before they hit. He and others in the area say the recent heat isn't making the situation any better.
So yesterday afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it was 104 degrees outside. Power went out.
Like yesterday, from 4 to 6 it was out, and when I got home it didn't come on for another hour, and my house was like 80 degrees.
And you actually found me in my recliner with a fan going on me, and I was just laying there like,
That's how many of us felt, for sure. XL has acknowledged 2 outages that happened this month, each lasting, they say, about 2 hours. The company now says it's reviewing what happened and is upgrading the substation that serves Platville. Torrential rain and flash flooding on the western slope is causing some problems as well.
First, on I-70 west of Glenwood Springs, the road is still closed in both directions tonight. You can see why. CDOT says mud and debris covered more than 300 acres of the highway between exit 97 near Silt and exit 105 near Newcastle. They say that mud was more than 3 feet deep in some spots, and it's going to take some time to clean it all up. More traffic trouble in the town of Carbondale. A sinkhole opened up in the middle of Main Street west of Hendrick. The town says they're working to repair it, but that's going to take a few days, and they estimate the road might not be ready to reopen until Friday. Then in Gypsum, this is what flash flooding left behind. Firefighters say they were busy last night between the flash flood and a small fire on federal land. Their crews were really busy running everywhere. They say thankfully no one was hurt. The threat, though, of flash flooding isn't over.
No, firefighters working on the Gold Mountain fire, which is near Uray, say they are concerned about flash flooding. The fire has burned just over 38,000 acres. That's about 59 square miles. That's a big burn scar that is at risk if it gets too much rain. Nearly 1,000 firefighters are working on the fire. They've grown containment now to about 24%. Meantime, the biggest and most destructive fire currently burning in Colorado got bigger again today. The Aspen Acres fire burning in Pueblo and Custer counties is now more than 101,000 acres. That is 158 square miles bigger than the size of Denver itself. More than 1,200 firefighters are working on containment. It's holding steady at 61%. The Aspen Acres fire has destroyed more than 850 structures in southern Colorado. At least 337 of them were homes.
A researcher at CU Boulder says wildfires like this are becoming more dangerous and more destructive. And the question is why? Her research focuses on natural disasters and risks to our communities. She says climate change is making it so that fires burn through the fuel faster. Research shows the faster a fire moves, the more likely it is to destroy homes. And unfortunately, fires are moving faster than ever before.
Fast fires are a great threat to our communities, and we should be aware that they are a possibility. So if we hear there's an evacuation order, if there's a warning, let's be aware that fires are moving faster than they did in the past. So it's important to act as soon as we are warned, because we might not have enough time to leave.
And she adds, if we keep developing land at this rate, the probability of losing homes in Colorado will triple by 2050. She says what we can control in the short term are fire starts, so we can limit those throughout the year, and we may be able to shorten fire season in Colorado.
A child is seriously hurt, a teenager in custody after a road rage incident that escalated into a stabbing. Police say it happened last night in Loveland. They say two cars were driving on Taft Avenue, then Eisenhower Boulevard near Prospect Drive. They say the two cars eventually pulled over. Several people got out, started arguing. Police say a 19-year-old Alexander Rodriguez stabbed someone, then drove off. That person is under 18, and police say their injuries are serious. Officers arrested Rodriguez at a home in Loveland. Charges are pending.
The man accused of shooting a woman outside the ICE facility in Aurora said he only meant to scare the protesters. That's according to court documents. Brandon Booth is a GEO Group employee, the private contractor that operates the ICE facility. An affidavit says Booth, who was off duty at the time, showed up for his shift at the facility and realized protesters were blocking the entrance. Two women then walking by him called them names, and other employees like Nazis and race traitors. Booth claims the women said they had taken down his license plate and made threats to his kids. Court documents say he got angry. He took his gun out and fired a single shot toward the women, hitting one of them in the ankle. Several Aurora SWAT officers were stationed nearby for the protest. They saw it happen. They responded immediately to the shooting. Booth is now facing charges, including attempted murder.